Hi, Secret Family. Welcome back to another video. I just wanted to talk to y'all for a little bit because I know last week I haven't really been posting like that, but honestly, I've been just busy with life, being a single mom and just handling everything and doing a lot of things on your own. Sometimes it can get overwhelming, it can get depressing sometimes. I'm not gonna say depressing, because I'm happy that I'm growing, but when you have to handle everything as an adult, sometimes you can lose focus on what you need to do. I just try to make sure that I'm handling everything. I just be on the go, on the go, on the go. And I know I don't have that many views right now, but eventually, it's gonna be like that. And my goal in this season is just to stay consistent, to build consistency in everything I want to do in content creation, and just everything I'm trying to do. Staying consistent. So yeah, I'm just trying to plan properly and just be consistent. And my topic I wanted to talk about today was just self-esteem, and it's hard as a Black woman having self-esteem. Say hi, Kari. Say hi to everybody. Say hi.
Hi.
How y'all doing?
This is my and this is my family, and this is my,
but the topic I wanted to talk about is self-esteem, and as a Black woman,
no, it's not.
It's hard to. Hey,
Hey,
Zakari,
huh?
I'm talking right now. Okay, relax. Okay, let me talk. Anyways, as a Black woman, it's hard to have self-esteem, especially high self-esteem, because everything that was put against us, makes us feel less than. And it took a lot of bulls to have self-esteem, especially as a Black woman, because 9 times out of 10, our decisions is based off of having us being insecure of ourselves, and you have to really, really believe in yourself in order to be able to accomplish anything in life. Because, the people around you might not believe in you, but you got to have high self-esteem for you to believe in yourself, and love yourself, regardless of what people tell you around you. And at one point in time, I let the people around me, what is that? At one point in time, I let the people around me project onto me. You see, I always had self-esteem, but when I was young, I wanted to be liked a lot. So I used to abandon myself. I used to do a lot of things because I wanted to be liked, but me just sitting back thinking, from a Hill's point of view, like, I was never liked no matter what I did. And I never understood why, I never understood why I wasn't liked. I never understood why, every time I turned around, it was always somebody that had a problem with me for no reason. You see, I was one of them people. I never started issues, but I always finished it.
And so, Mom, have a baby, Mom.
I always finished it. And, maybe on the outside looking in, it would probably look like I was one of the people that always had drama. But no, I was one of the people that, I wouldn't start anything. But when you come messing with me, it's gonna be an issue. It's gonna be an issue, and I don't regret it, because I had to always stand on my own. And you gotta be strong-willed, because people will bully you. Like when I was young, I used to fight a lot because people used to gang up on me. Like little girls, they used to gang up on me. I was one of them kids in the class that everybody had an issue with, and it was like it would never be the boys that had a problem with me. It would always be the girls, and they used to gang up on me, and they used to call me out and used to try to like all gang up on me, and they used to never like me, and I used to be, you know, sad as a little girl, because it's like, dang, why, what I do to people, why everybody feel like they had a gang up on me? And I didn't realize, you know, that I had this special light within me. That's why people did not like me, you know, like people were jealous of me. And it's like, when people are jealous of you, and when you are really a pretty girl, sometimes it's hard to stand on your own, because you want to be liked so bad. But the gift in not being liked is that not everybody's your cup of tea, and it's okay, you know. But it just was hard to really accept myself and love myself, because everybody around me made me feel like something was wrong with me, you know, made me feel like, you know. And then it's like, even having a narcissistic mother, you know, I realized that my mom was the hardest on me, you know, like, but she didn't understand. Her not being there for me emotionally made me feel like she was my enemy. But even with that situation, you know, she couldn't really be there for me because she was broken herself. So she projected a lot of her pain onto me. So it was like, everybody projected a lot of pain onto me, you know, like nobody ain't really accept me for who I was. So because the outside wouldn't accept me for who I was, it kind of made me hate myself, you know, like, and because I hated myself, I was doing a lot of things that I seen around me that wasn't really for me, but I was just doing it to be liked, you know, being a follower instead of a leader, like. And that was because, you know, when I tried to be on my own, I was condemned for it. I was rejected for it. You know what I'm saying? But I had to learn how to embrace rejection. I had to learn how to embrace not being liked. Because it was like, no matter what I did, somebody always had something to say. You know, like literally, somebody always had something to say. So it was just like, at the end of the day, you gotta be okay with doing you. You gotta be okay with not caring about what other people say, because it don't matter what you do in life. It's always gonna be somebody out there that don't like it. It's always gonna be somebody out there that don't like it. And the older that I get, the more I enjoy not being liked. I don't give a fuck, okay? Sometimes you can't care about what people think, because no matter what, it's always gonna be somebody that don't like you. Always. You know, so, you know, my thing is, when somebody making you feel some type of way, you gotta ask yourself, why do you care? Why? Why do you care? Because guarantee it really don't even matter for real, you know? Because people project onto other people how do they feel about themselves. You know what I'm saying? You would think something wrong with you, and no, the whole time people just be jealous of you, you know? Like, so, you know, we got to start looking at things like that. We got to start looking at things like, hey, that's not how it really is. That's how this person feel about themselves, you know, like, or their situation. And it's really like that, you know. And sometimes we just got to take the time out to really sit with ourselves. You know, once I started loving a woman in the mirror, it was nothing you can tell me. Nothing at all. And I've been through a lot of stuff. Like, a lot. At one point in time, and I really let looking for love in all the wrong places change my soul, my spirit. And it wasn't until I separated myself from everything I knew that I was able to find just how different and special I really was. You know, like, and that's the power in being alone. That's the power in healing. And, you know, when things ain't working the way it needs to, sometimes you gotta pick up and start over somewhere else. Okay? That's what I want to tell y'all. You know, you can do it. It don't matter where you at in life. If you're not happy with your reality, change it. Get up and do what you need to do. Maybe that thing deep down inside that you've been waiting for the right moment to, or be scared to do. Maybe that's just the thing you need to do. Maybe that's just the thing you need to do to get to where you need to go. That thing you feel deep down in your heart that you be trying to avoid, maybe that's just the thing you need to do to get to where you need to go. Not everybody can go with you. Not everybody can go with you. Not everybody can go with you. But best believe, when you do that, you gonna feel much better. When you start listening to that little voice in the inside, you feel much better. I'm telling you, you feel much better. Because people don't get it. They don't get it. You know, they don't. They might not never get it. You know, like, I did a lot of things that nobody ain't even have the balls to do themselves. That's how you know I was powerful. That's how you know that I was, you know, really, really that girl. You know, like, and now once I was able to change how I looked at myself, my whole reality changed in front of my eyes.
And some
literally. Literally.
Killed.
You know, so that's why self-esteem is the biggest thing when it comes down to having clarity with where you at in your life and where you going. You know. So
the big bad wolf makes some noise and say out.
Nah, this another thing I wanted to talk about was,
Mom.
Honestly, I wanted to talk about being a teen mom. Cause, you know, my daughter right here, she's 3. She's about to be 4. I had her at 17, meaning that I was pregnant at 16 years old. Now, it's hard being when you're young. It's even harder when you don't have a village to depend on. But it's doable. It's doable, you know, but it's better when you put yourself first, you know. See, I had my daughter because she gave me the love that I've never had for myself. She gave me the strength I needed to be able to put myself first because I didn't know how. You know, I didn't know how. I kept abandoning myself, putting myself in a situation where I was abandoning myself and disrespecting myself and all of these different things. So now it's definitely hard when you ain't got no village. I would never tell a young person, hey, do this and the third. And then my journey was a little bit more harder because I didn't have my mother. It's a little bit easier for those who got their mom, who had a mom that poured into them, that never left their side regardless. But I can't say I don't got the same experience. My mom abandoned me every time I needed her, every trip, you know. And if she was helping me, it was about a personal reason. You know, she made it a personal vendetta. You know, whether it's money, whether it was just help. It was never like, yo, no, genuine, I'm going to help you. No. So it was harder. My journey was harder. You know, I thank God so much because I was covered. You know, I was able to get into transitional living programs and different programs that have helped me along my way of trying to find independence, trying to be on my feet and whatever the case may be. You know, because you know, it was like if I didn't want to, like, if I wanted to be on my own, if I wanted to be independent, I had to find my own way. You know, and when you want to do things, it's your responsibility to get it done. You know, and it feels better. It's easier when you have help, when you got people helping you, but when you don't have nobody to help you get to where you need to go, never give up on yourself, because God will never give up on you. He would never give up on you. Never, ever, ever give up on you. You know, and when you're chosen for this, when God is for you, who can be against you? Nobody. Nobody. You know, and every blessing I have gotten was because I put in the work to help myself along the way, you know, and because I always had good intention, I always got blessed in the long run. I may have struggled, I may have lost, and that was because the people around me was jealous of me, you know, trying to make sure that I lose and trying to make sure that I lost things and didn't have things. But every time I lost, God replaced it with something better. I kid you not. Every time I lost, God replaced it with something better. Because a lot of times people did things for me that I never really had an intention on doing back to people or giving back the same thing. I just let God do his course. And because of that, I get blessed even more when I let it go. You know? Can you stop doing that with this hair? Leave it alone.
If can eat, but the F can.
But you know, it's not easy, guys. You know, I cried a lot. Because I needed strength, you know, and crying give you strength. Don't ever think crying don't give you strength. Crying give you the strength you need to make it happen, okay? It might hurt within the moment, but later on you'll be like, dang, it was worth it. It was all worth it.
And Selma is my own best friend.
You know, I cried a lot on this journey of motherhood. And even though my daughter, she's grown so much because I had her at 6 months. I was stressed out so much pregnant that I only carried her for half a term. So she's genuinely a miracle baby. A miracle, you know, but I was so stressed out. I wouldn't have made it through that 3rd trimester because, you know, I was so sad and emotional and stressed out during my pregnancy that, you know, that she had to come. I couldn't carry her, you know. And when the body's going through so much stress and pain, when a woman's body going through so much stress and pain, that's a vulnerable time as a woman. But when she's also going through a lot of emotional pain, you're not even strong enough to carry a baby, you know, like, and
you're not.
It's crazy. I'll never forget it. R.I.P. Mr. Burden. That was my digital media teacher back in high school because I was trying to finish high school to get my diploma and stuff, and I was still going to school at the time. And he used to say, dang. And when I had Kyrie early, he was like, wow, that's crazy. The way he was walking up the stairs, I knew you wasn't gonna make it. And I used to be like, what? Like, what you mean you know I wasn't gonna make it? And it's crazy. R.I.P. him, but he helped me. He encouraged me so much to continue going, you know, like, he encouraged me so much to continue going to school no matter what was going on. You know, that when I graduated, he was one of the ones that really congratulated me, like, yo, you did it. And he just kept pushing me. He just kept pushing me. He just kept telling me to keep going. Don't give up. Don't give up. And that meant a lot to me because, you know, I used to want to give up a lot, but I couldn't give up. You know, like, life would do that to you. You know, life would really do that to you. Like, you know, but I couldn't give up. You know, and then on top of that, you know, with me having a daughter, I had a reason to continue going. You know, like, I had a reason to just not give up because, you know, my mom ain't graduate high school. You know, my dad ain't graduate high school. You know, her dad ain't graduate high school. So I had to be the one to do it. And regardless of if I got anything for it or not, I had to do that for me, you know, because people, you know, they try to say when young teens moms get pregnant, they become a statistic. They're not gonna do nothing. They don't graduate high school. They don't do nothing in life. They don't do nothing. And you know, I was determined to prove people wrong. Like, y'all not about to tell me that, oh, I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna be nothing in life just because I had a baby. No, absolutely not. Nope. And people try their hardest to try to like project bad things onto me, but I just couldn't accept it, you know? Like, whatever you accept, you become, you know? But when you reject that, like, no, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be different. You will become exactly what you tell yourself, you know? And I kept telling myself, like, nah, I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna graduate. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And I did it. And it's crazy, y'all. I graduated, got my diploma. I didn't even have a graduation. My mom couldn't even give me a congratulations. She was so hard on me about me not graduating and saying I was going to be a statistic because I was pregnant, I had a baby and whatever. She ain't even congratulate me when I got my diploma. That's how much my mother really hated me, you know? And it was just like, a lot of times I just wanted, you know, her recognition, her love. But every time I needed it, I just didn't receive it. You know, I received the opposite. And it used to, you know, I used to want to make her proud. But once I realized nothing I did was going to make her proud, I just stopped looking for it, you know. But honestly, the battle to why my mom didn't love me, that was the hardest thing to accept as a woman. Like, dang, why my mom don't love me? Like, but I'm starting to see that a lot of us black girls have narcissistic moms. Like, they see us as an extension of themselves. So when we accomplish things that they can't accomplish, they resent us for it. When we start accomplishing things that they didn't accomplish, they literally resent us for it. Like literally. And they try to sabotage us or try to throw things in there to make us doubt our reality, doubt ourselves, be insecure within ourselves. And they be like, dang, why would you do that to your own kid? But it's a systematic thing, you know? Like, all the effects of slavery. That's why the black family household is broken. You all right?
Yeah, I think you hurt my hair.
Girl, this is all humble. But this is all the effects of slavery. This is all the effects of systematic slavery, the Willie Lynch theory. We're going to break the black family up. We're going to break the black household up. We're going to break it up. And, you know, we're going to put the mothers against the fathers, the mothers against the daughters, the sons against the fathers, so we could never stick together. Because if we never stick together, we can never come together and build success. Because the key opponents to success is a team, it's family, you know, and that's why our kids are broken, you know, and that's why our kids listen, let me finish taking out your hair. That's why our families is broken. Most of us come from dysfunctional homes. Most of us come from alcoholic homes. And you know, if the family structure is broken, it's easier for these people to come in and project onto us, hey, this is how you're supposed to be. And that's not. And it makes us hate ourselves, you know, and when they broke us, our family structure apart, we're easier to condition. We're easier we're easier to control when we're separated than together. We're easier to control. So, you know, my goal for my family, you know, for just, you know, us in general, like, one day I will hope for all of us to come together, you know, to be able to come together and be able to grow. I just hope one day we able to come together as, you know, black individuals and build each other up and not tear each other down. But they have putting us against each other. They have putting us against us, you know, and we hate each other. You know, we can never hate our oppressors when we too busy hating each other. You know, so it's just like, when you understand why our people is broken, you can understand the reason why it's revolutionary as a woman to heal. Because when our women heal, we help heal our men. We help heal our children. You know, and that's why besides the black men, the black woman is the most oppressed. We are the most oppressed. Why? Because we carry life, we nurture life. We give life, we nurture life, we carry life. So if they make us hate ourselves, you know, and we lead the families, they make us hate ourselves, they make the men want to be, you know, they confuse us a lot. That's a part of the mental conditioning of society. Because if we knew that we were the ones, if we knew that we were the chosen ones, we would move totally different. Totally different. So, you know, I just want my people to take heed to what I'm saying, you know, and listen, you know, like, and really listen, because I love y'all so much. I love y'all so much. I love everybody so much. I love. As much as I've been through, I love, because I like love. Love is what moves me. Love is what keeps me going. Love gives me the strength to keep going. You know, and I would never change that for the world. I won't change it. Because if there's not people on earth to love like me, then, you know, the earth is just messed up. You know, we need people on earth to love, you know, because sometimes we don't need to be fighting. We don't need to be hating each other. We need to start loving each other. But it's going to take a long time to get to that, because we've been taught to hate each other. We've been conditioned to hate each other, you know, but they make us hate ourselves and they make us hate each other. You know, that's why, you know, one day I hope we can come back to standing together, sticking together, you know. But until then, we gotta individually heal ourselves before we can try to help others. We gotta heal ourselves before we can try to help others. We gotta love ourselves before we can love others, you know, and we gotta do the best for us and our family. You know, so that's all I want to tell y'all, family. Today is supposed to be a big week for me. I'm going back to see my family. You know, I'm going back home for a little bit. And I'm going back to the place that broke me. You know, I just want y'all to wish me love, wish me strength. I'm going to do my praying. I'm going to do my preparing my spirit for these things. But I'm a totally different woman. I'm grown now. It's a difference. And I can say this with confidence. I have grown so much within the last year that I wouldn't change my journey for the world. Don't get me wrong. It was hard. I was fighting. And I was fighting. But the clarity I have as to who I am and how much love I have for myself, I would never let nobody take that away from me. Nobody. That's why, do it. Whatever it is you need to do to get your peace, do it. And I guarantee you will never regret it. Have a good day, family. Mwah. I love you guys. Bye-bye.